Hello students, welcome to S.V.K.T. Arts Science Commerce College, Deolali Camp. I am Prachi Warey, librarian. Today we are going to learn about the different types of information resources. So, what are the different type of information resources we are going to learn? That is newspaper, books, journals, magazine, diary, etc. So dear friends, what is information? Information is an essential ingredient and plays important role in day-to-day life. Timely, up-to-date and relevant information is vital in every sector. For example, business, agriculture, health, academics, research and so on. So, information plays vital role in human life. What are information resources? Information sources are the various means by which information is recorded for use by an individual or organization. So, information is needed by each and every organization. It is recorded and documented. These are the means by which a person is informed about something, knowledge is provided, or information is shared among people or an organization. Information sources could be documents, observations, people, speeches, artwork, etc. So, from where you can have information, you can get information from the documents, observations, speeches, general talkings, people, artwork, images, etc. Information sources could be in print or non-print format. Creators of information sources. Who create the information sources? There are three main creators or producers of information sources. One is government. Government of any country produces the information. Government departments, agencies and ministries have documents. Second, academics and research institutions. In academic and research institutions, colleges, universities and research institutes generates the information. Private sector. In private sector, non-for-profit organization, for-profit organization and commercial agencies, international agencies, private associations, organizations and corporate bodies. पुढे नाही जाते झालं बोलून म्हणून तो तुला आवाज दिला मी हां का Types of information resources. Types of information resources. There are three types of information sources. One is primary, secondary and tertiary. So what are primary sources of information? Primary sources are original documents or original work. Primary sources are produced at the time of an event without interpretation or commentary. Okay, these primary sources are the nascent informations. Okay, are usually evidence or account of the evidence, events, practices or conditions being researched. Present information in its original form, not interpreted or condensed or evaluated by other writers. For example, articles, patent, conference proceedings, newspaper, diaries, artifacts, minutes of meeting, artwork, photographs, maps, videos are all what? Primary sources of information where the information is available in its original form. It is not documented elsewhere. Okay. What are secondary sources of information? Secondary sources are the sources that interpret or analyze primary sources. Okay, secondary sources are further removed from the events described or mentioned in primary sources. They are not evidence but rather commentary or on discussion of evidence. So, secondary sources are what? When primary sources are documented, then they becomes secondary sources. For example, textbooks, reference books, indexing and abstracting journals, bibliographies, biographies, dictionaries, encyclopedias, commentaries, criticisms, etc. are what? Secondary sources of information. Okay. What are tertiary sources of information? These are the works which list primary and secondary sources. Materials that index, organize and compile citations to and show how the secondary sources could be used. These are the materials in which secondary sources are digested and put into a convenient and easy to read form. So, tertiary sources are what? These are the works which list both primary and secondary sources. For example, bibliography of bibliographies, directories, theses, dissertations, almanacs, handbooks, chronologies, guidebooks, manuals, etc. These are what? Examples of tertiary sources of information. So, difference between primary, secondary and tertiary sources. So, primary sources of information are manuscripts, documents or records used in preparing a published or unpublished work. This contain nascent information, current information which is not published elsewhere. Okay. Secondary sources are what? These are the published or unpublished work relies on primary sources. Okay. And tertiary sources are what? These are published or unpublished work relies on secondary sources. So, formats of information sources, there are different formats of information sources. One is print and non-print. So, the two main formats are print and non-print. In print format are books, journals, bibliographies, maps, directories, guides, indexes, abstracts, reports, photographs, etc. Non-print, audio-visual, CD, DVDs, multimedia, microform, e-books, e-journals, databases, images, etc. are non-print format of information sources. Now, we will study the different type of information sources one by one. Periodicals. What are periodicals? Periodicals are items published at regular intervals like weekly, monthly, quarterly or annually. That is, your magazines and journals are called periodicals. Periodicals include scholarly journals, magazines, trade journals and newspapers. Thus, what are periodicals? The items or the documents that are published at regular intervals. Okay, therefore, they are called periodicals. So, what are magazines? They provide general information on topics of popular interest. You have seen in many libraries there are magazines, scholarly journals, okay. And one more type of journal is there called trade journal. These are generally available in the business organizations, okay. So, one by one we will study these periodicals. One is magazine. What is magazine? Magazine provide general information. Okay, magazines cover general information. For example, your Griha Shobha and all these are what? Magazines. Okay, contains only general information on topics of popular interest. Written for general public, contain no references or bibliographies and publish short articles. What are scholarly journals? Scholarly journals are written and analyzed report on original research. They contain research articles, therefore they are called scholarly journals, are written by scholars, experts in the subject field, have articles reviewed by peers before publishing, includes references, often includes charts, tables and graphs. Okay. Trade journals, as already told you, these are usually found in business organizations, contains reports on trends and issues in given industry, are written by experts in a given industry, publish articles that address standards from the field, often includes charts, graphs and illustrations, contains advertisements related to the given industry. What are newspapers? Provide newspapers you have seen provide current news, information about international, national and local events, are written by journalists and freelance writers, are written by for general public, publish short articles and contain no references or bibliographies. Books. Books are written on many different topics and can be considered fiction and non-fiction. Libraries divide books into reference and general book collection. Books come in print and non-print form. In order to find information for your research, it is important to learn some common types of reference and general collection books. Okay, so what are reference books? Reference books are kept in special area of the library. These are good starting point for any research project or problem. Contains facts, statistics and biographical information, are used to locate brief bits of information. Examples of reference books are encyclopedias, dictionaries, biographical sources, geographical sources, directories, handbooks, almanacs, statistical sources and government documents. So, one by one we will study the different types of reference sources. First is encyclopedia. What is encyclopedia? It is also called Vishwakosh. Okay, encyclopedias are great places to start when you are unfamiliar with a topic, because reading an encyclopedia article is a good way to get grasp of the range and depth of the topic you are investigating. So, whenever you want to know about something, you can refer to an encyclopedia. Articles are usually written by subject experts. Use an encyclopedia when looking for background information on a topic and when trying to find key ideas, important dates and concepts. Okay, encyclopedias can be general or subject specific. For example, Encyclopedia Britannica, Encyclopedia Americana and Marathi Vishwakosh. What are dictionaries? Dictionaries are used to define words, to verify spellings, to divide words into syllables for word pronunciation, for usage, to determine the history of the word. You can refer to dictionaries. Okay, dictionaries consist of general language or specialized format. Since many types of dictionaries exist, choose the one specific for information needs. Two types of general dictionaries are unabridged dictionaries and second one is abridged dictionary. What is unabridged dictionaries? That includes all the words in the language available at the time of publishing. The resulting book can get very large, heavy and cumbersome to handle, whereas abridged dictionaries are smaller and contain smaller amount of words found in the unabridged dictionaries. Specialized dictionaries. Specialized dictionaries are divided into slang dictionaries, thesaurus, dual language dictionaries and subject specific dictionaries. Slang dictionaries define words used in ordinary speech. For example, McGraw-Hill's Essential American Slang Dictionary. Thesaurus. It contains synonyms, that is similar, and antonyms, that is opposite of specific words. For example, Roget's Thesaurus. Dual language dictionaries, in which words are available in one language with definition in second language. For example, English Marathi, Spanish English dictionaries. Subject specific dictionaries contains words and meanings on particular field, such as medical or scientific dictionary. For example, Stedman's Medical Dictionary. What are biographical sources? Biographical sources provide information on the lives of individuals. So, from this session, in this session you have learned about the different type of information sources, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. The different types of formats available for the information sources, that is print and non-print format. Thirdly, you have learned the creators or the producers of the information, that is government, academic institution and private sector. Okay, and then you have learnt about the different types of reference sources, that is encyclopedia, dictionaries, biographical sources, etc.